Hi guys, it's Candy here and welcome to my very first June happies. It's a video that I want to shoot every month at the end of each month to share and record all the things that have made me happy that month. I've seen this idea done across YouTube. Lisa at Supportive Tarot this month did a lovely post and called it her show and tell, which I loved. And she proclaimed it was her sandbox and she could show whatever she wanted, and I agree totally with that. Also, I've seen the lovely Grace over at Mary Grace Farrun. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong. I love her channel. I could just sit and listen to you all day, Grace. She does something similar as well, which I absolutely love. Oh, I'm hot. It's hot tonight in here. Yeah, so I've seen a few of you do it and I want to join in. I want to share some of the things that I love and some of the things I've enjoyed in the month. So I've got a desk full of things in front of me and I've tried to split it into some categories. I've tried to split it into things that I've consumed, things that I've created myself, things that I've been experiencing, and things I've been connecting with. So just a few categories. I'm going to start with some unusual things for me, but there's a point to it. Things I've been consuming, some makeup products. Everybody who knows me in real life will go, what? Because I'm notorious for not wearing any makeup or anything like that. But I've decided this month to start making my self-care and my self-love a focus. I've had a barren wasteland for years for various reasons with self-love and self-care, and I can feel the tide turning, so it's lovely. So the first thing is lipstick, which I'm wearing at the minute, and it's a lipstick that I just found. It appeared from nowhere. It's called Mulberry Burst, and it's this probably incredibly unfashionable deep pink, and this is the colour that I used to wear when I was a kid. Well, I say a kid, a teenager, young anyway, and all my friends would be wearing reds and browns, and then it went gothy and dark browns, and then the red lip has come back in. And at no point can I remember, apart from in the 80s, this deep pink being fashionable. And it's always the colour I wanted to wear, and it's always the colour I got nagged not to wear. And it just appeared from nowhere in my makeup drawer. I was sorting out my room. I just thought, oh my gosh. So I've started wearing lipstick for the first time in 20 years. Couple of days I'm loving it. I keep going and reapplying my lippy. It's fab. And then another thing I don't normally wear, dark nail polish. This is called Double Espresso. Ooh. And I am absolutely loving the dark nail polish on my crazy hands and my odd thumbs and my weird fingers. But, you know, whatever. I love it. So those two things I'm consuming in the makeup department. Okay, the next thing is books. Now, I'm an avid reader and my Goodreads total for the year is 50 books. And I was doing really well. I think I was up to about 18 books. But then I went into a charity shop and I found a huge pile of these Game of Thrones books. All of them except one. So I read the first one, kind of finished it at the beginning of last month, and absolutely loved it. I haven't seen any of the TV programme because I don't like telly very much. I never even think to put the TV on. But this is a monster thick book and it kind of slowed me down, and then I've been busy in the garden and my reading's kind of taken a nosedive, shall we say. But this was fabulous. So I definitely want to crack on with some more reading of this series. So it was just a really good read. So that I loved. And I have decided to start focusing again because I want to get that 50 book total. I have nearly finished this. I am not literally on the last few pages. It's a book that I've had for years that I wanted to read. Sylvia Plath, The Bell Jar. And it's also part of the Literary Witches Oracle. It's a book that's included in there. So I thought I'd pull it out so I could work with that oracle with it. but it's oh, I'm so hot, you see. Oh. But I just kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. Well, I've started reading it, nearly finished. It's been absolutely brilliant. I have kind of read it with a little bit of trepidation because it is quite bleak, and I've kind of read it with my heart in my throat, wondering what's going to happen next. But there's no denying why it's a classic. It's absolutely brilliantly written. So I've loved that this month. And another book I literally have lived with, it's been joined to me, is this tarot book. I think I've read it cover to cover about 100 times now, trying to learn the cards. So it gives you all the card meanings in amazing depth. It gives you spreads to trial with each of the majors. And, you know, if you're learning tarot like I am, it's just a spectacularly useful book. It's not the only book I'm reading. And if you count books that come with decks, I've read a lot more this month. But this has really been consumed. So I love that. Okay, so that's the books. I am hoping to up that next month and read some more. Right, decks. Right, where is it? This deck probably won't be any surprise if you've watched my other videos this for June. But the Tower of the Sweet Twilight is one that I ordered. I just literally haven't been able to stop reading from it. I've ignored everything else virtually this month. I've absolutely loved it. The artwork is amazing. It's very talkative. That's my stalker card, one of them. It's very, very easy to read with, I find. It's got some interesting takes on some of the meanings. For a beginner like me, it's just dragging me in and making it so much easier to learn. I've got a very long, full review of it if you're interested, for one of my videos for June. But that is definitely an absolute favourite. Tarot of the Sweet Twilight, just wonderful. So that's been a deck that I've absolutely loved using, a tarot deck. Right, what else? What else? Right, a moon oracle. So an oracle deck that I got. I've absolutely loved this as well. I've just started working with it. I saw a review of it on the Truth in Story, which I will put a link to down below if I can work out how to do it. But this has been brilliant for developing understanding of astrology and the way the moon moves throughout the month. I've just pulled the cards for today, actually. I'm pulling cards and setting them up in my bedroom so I can keep a track of where we are. The book that comes with it is absolutely brilliant. If you're wanting to learn about moon phases and the houses and astrology and like the way it all links up together and the goddesses that are involved, this has got it all in, and it's just been really fun to use. I'm very new to it, so I'm still sitting with the book wondering what on earth I'm doing, but it's been fantastic. I think I am going to do a separate review of this. You get 3 types of cards in it. You get the moon mansions, which you have to work out using the book, what moon mansion you're in. That goes on the angle of the moon, I think. I don't really know. I'm just making things up now. We'll just go with the angle of the moon. And then you get a pile which has got goddesses in, where you can see what energy you're in, and that changes as it goes through the star signs. So there's 12 moon goddesses, one for each star sign, and we are in this one at the moment, which is Sagittarius, which is my star sign. And then there's another pile of cards for the actual moon phase that you're in. And these are linked to the star signs as well. So you've got fire signs, earth signs, you've got the air, and you've got the water signs. So it's very new to me, but it's something that I'm really interested in developing a little bit more understanding and knowledge of. I've only been working with it the tail end of June and not consistently, so it's going to be a focus for next month. But as a slightly more unusual oracle deck, I think it's really good. So that's an oracle I've been working with. Another, not really an oracle again, it's slightly unusual, are these Caroline Mice archetype cards. Now I know I spoke about this in another video last month, but they've just been really fantastic to work with. Again, you don't, there's so many cards in there, look at that. You don't work with all of them. You sort out, there's a few that you have to include, they ask you to include in the pile that you're going to work with. And then you choose another, well, I think they recommend 15, but I've taken out about 20 things that really speak to you about who you are, and you work with those. And they've been fantastically good. I can't see me stopping using those for quite a while because I've had some really interesting readings with them. So yeah, really good. And then another tarot that I've been working with this month, which has surprised me, is my one and only Rider-Waite tarot deck. And this I've got just purely for study reasons. The imagery hasn't ever really appealed to me, but how can you learn the tarot without at least one Rider-Waite? It's not my favourite Rider-Waite deck, but it is the deck that they had in my local metaphysical shop, and I wanted to support them, so it's the one I bought. But I've had quite an interesting experience with this deck this month, which links to the connection part of this video. I started piecing together my tarot learning journal to put all my notes in, which had artwork for my dad who died 10 years ago in the front. It's like some tribute artwork, and I felt a bit weird about using that book for anything else. And I heard the voice of my dad really clearly coming through saying, yeah, go ahead, and while you're at it, can we have a chat please? It's not the first time that's happened with my dad. Normally he comes to me in dreams really clearly, but yeah, this time he came to me through the tarot deck, and he pulled me to pick this deck up very clearly. And I've had some spectacular chats. Now I've been searching all over the internet, wondering what I'm dabbling in doing that. Just out of interest to what the tarot world would think about something like that happening. It's been very hard to find any information, but I am going to do a separate video about it. I know very clearly it was my dad, and this deck has suddenly taken on a whole new importance for me, a huge importance. For me now, I feel like my dad's voice, not all the time, but sometimes when I'm called, is yelling me to pick this deck up. And the readings I've done when I felt that call in to go and get the deck have been really quite breathtaking. So that's something really special that's happened this month. Another tarot deck as well, which again links to connection, is this. This is my very first indie deck, not a mass-produced deck, and it's by the lovely Christoph James, and it's the Rain Coast Pocket Tarot. Now I actually won this in June on the Facebook page for Simon's the Hermit's Cave, and I just clicked on one night after I'd put the kids to bed, and there was a post that had gone up saying, guess which number deck this is, and if you guessed the correct number, then you're the winner. And I just thought, oh, how lovely. Isn't that nice? Isn't that really lovely of him and generous? And I just thought, well, guess my age, because I'm 51. So I put 51 and I won. You see here, it is number 51, deck number 51. So Christoph so kindly posted this to me all the way. I think he's in California or Canada, or I'm not sure. I've forgotten now. But anyway, it came all the way overseas to little old me here in the UK. I've never ever owned an indie deck before, and Christoph's artwork is absolutely spectacular, just amazing. And we had to laugh because I was flicking through the first card to fall. It's got orcas on, and my daughter is really connected to orcas, and she squealed and went, "There's an orca on there." And then I thought, well, if there's a swan, I'll be happy, because I work with swans with Bridget. And I pulled that card out and there was a swan on it, on the Empress. I was like, no way. And I actually said to my daughter, if there's an octopus in here, I'm literally going to die of amazement. And there's a card with an octopus in, because an octopus, again, is another animal that has supported me with its energy over the years. So thank you so much, Christoph, for that generous, amazing, wonderful gift. It was totally unexpected. It made my day, it made my week, it made my June. I just couldn't believe that I'd got such a beautiful deck sent to me. So thank you. It was just, I will treasure it forever. So that's what I've been consuming with decks and oracles. I can talk now about what I've been creating. Well, my garden's taken a lot of time because I do love the garden. Currently, I am creating a magic garden, and it was a wilderness when I moved into this house 13 years ago, a complete wilderness, and I've spent time clearing it. But then I had a hiatus from it for about 5 years, through personal reasons, personal traumas, and it just got ignored again. And then a year ago, I suddenly felt my soul come home, and I reconnected with who I am and the things I love. That process is still continuing, hence the YouTube channel and all of this. So this is really a road of recovery and healing, and it's joyous to be on that road. And my garden is a big part of that, because I've always gardened right from a little girl. And I got back out there and I've started clearing it and building this magic garden, and it's been amazing. This month I'm absolutely thrilled to say that I've got all the plants that were grown in the greenhouse out. All the beds have been made, filled with soil. There are tomatoes planted up, and there are flowers coming through. There are dahlias growing, beans growing up, magic twigs, and there's my daughter's secret garden with gates made. So that creativity out in the garden has been absolutely fantastic. I've loved it. But also in my art studio, I've been back in there for the first time for ages. And yeah, it's been all about journaling this month. I've absolutely loved it. I started making this brand new tarot journal, which is for my daily, weekly, monthly work with the tarot, somewhere to record it. Just I completely loved making this. And I've started working in it, recording cards I'm pulling, and things I'm working with. It's just it's been fantastic. I'm really loving doing that. So that was last month I created that, and I've started filling it in this month. I also got the paints out for the first time in ages and did a watercolour to celebrate the Buck Moon this month, which is soon. And I started making another journal as well, which is the journal I mentioned with my dad's artwork in. And I did all the front of that and the back of that. And I have started putting in some of the pieces inside to integrate it all. So that's going to be my learning journal for tarot, kind of like a grimoire for the tarot. So yeah, I've enjoyed spending time in the art studio creating in there. And then me and the kids have been doing stone painting as well, which we want to buy the tools for because we're having so much fun. And I've been using some of these stones that we've been painting in the photos on my tarot Instagram page. There's my daughter's stone, my Tilly. So we've just had loads of fun. We've been trying different jewels on them. My daughter Poppy is spectacular at this, but she's stolen all of her own stones back for her bedroom. How mean is that? So we're negotiating prices currently for her to replace the stones so I can have some more down in the lounge. She's spotted a fantastic business opportunity, I think. So there's been things being created in the art studio, which has been wonderful. Experiences, just learning these cards and just jumping into learning has been absolutely fantastic. I've done a couple of practice readings for a friend, which was very scary, but just exciting to know that I can pull cards and connect them and read them now. Also, we had fun in the garden experiencing fires. We had a late night sunset fire for Letha. It was so lovely to sit round and toast marshmallows, to light candles. We had incense out there. We had lanterns in the trees. We watched the sunset. We searched for fairies. It was fantastic. So experiencing that with the kids last month was an absolute highlight. It was lovely. And finally, in connections, I've spoken about a couple so far, but I have had some wonderful moments in June with my amazing circle of friends. Honestly, I have people around me that are so wonderful. One of my friends messaged me and said, I've got a book that you will love. And she drove over. She knows I'm in lockdown because I'm still shielding with my daughter who's got Smith-Magenis syndrome. And she's very vulnerable in this pandemic. So, and I'm a single mom, so it's just me and the kids in the house. So she knew I wasn't getting out anywhere, and she brought this book round and dropped it off in the porch for me with a bag of vegan chocolate brownies as well. Just real kindness, just really lovely. I've had another friend dropping pallets off on the driveway because he knows that I love making things, and he'd got pallets. I've got red and blue and coloured pallets out there, which is wonderful. I have another local friend who has been around here looking at jobs to help me with. I've got a tree that needs topping, that's like needs 20 foot taken off, and he's been round checking for that. He's dropped recycled stuff off on the drive that he knows I can use. He's tagged me in posts on Facebook on the freebie giveaway site, and I managed to get a gate last month because he took time out to tag me. I have had another friend message me and say I'm throwing out 2 chairs. They're the 2 chairs that you saw in the Letha fire pit area. They were from her. She said, do you want them first? So just so much kindness around me. It's been wonderful. A tarot deck, kindness from a stranger. And another friend, oh my goodness, this is unbelievable. another friend, and I'm not going to name her, but she'll know who she is if she's watching. I gifted something to her a few years ago that I wasn't using anymore and I wouldn't have used again, which she's had for a few years. And she messaged me to ask if it was okay to pass it on because she didn't need it anymore either. Did I want it back or could she pass it on? And I said, absolutely fine, pass it on, find it another home. And she managed to sell it, which is wonderful. And she said, what if I sell it? And I said, if you sell it, brilliant, treat your kids to a present, and you know, even better if you manage to sell it. I'm completely fine with that. Well, she left an envelope with the money that she'd made from selling this object in my porch as a gift for my original kindness. And I told her not to do it. And I said, no, it's completely fine. But she left a note saying, please forgive me and accept this gift back. And thank you so much. And that really, really touched me. So it's just been a really lovely June, considering that I'm stuck in the house and we're going nowhere. I feel really connected with people and people's kindness, and all of you guys as well online. So yeah, it's been a great month for creating, experiencing things, the things that I've been consuming, and also the ways we've been connecting. So thank you very much for being here and being part of that connection. Thank you very much for listening to my June Happy rambles, and I hope you have a happy July, because we're in July now, yay! So thank you very much, and I will see you next time.